So dear friends, in general, when we are talking about salt, it's always interesting because almost every day we use salt to season our food. But for some people, probably it is not. Cooking, for instance, just a week ago before I returned to United States from my vacations, my mother, she cooked a meal for a dinner. So she asked me to taste her food. And I said, it is too salty. But my sister told us, and my mother asked her to taste it. And my sister told my mother, no, it is fine. And then my niece, she tasted it, and she said, no, you need more added salt, Grandma. So three different people, three different opinions, three different the way we taste it. To me, it was too salty, but my sister is fine, and my niece to add more another salt. So I believe none of us would like to cook a meal for dinner or lunch without salt, though, because without salt, the food would be tasteless. But if it is too much salt, the food would be salty. We could not enjoy it anymore. And too much salt also, it could be a problem for those who have a problem in health, especially high blood pressure, for instance. So if you have a high blood pressure, so be careful with the salt, because I personally, I have that one, so I have to lessen my salt intake. It could be a problem for us, and that's why for those who have high blood pressure, it's always advised to lessen salt intake, or it is better not to have salt on the meal at all. So, dear friends, what I would like to say is that salt is extremely important in our life, and for sure it is very important. Almost every day we use salt for our food, and in some cases we use it also for drink, margarita, for instance. So if you like a margarita, so and then mostly you will taste the salt as well. And the same thing also with the light. Almost everywhere and anytime, 24/7, we need a light to enlighten, to give us light in our daily activities. Today in the gospel, Jesus gave us these two simple metaphors, light and salt, based on ordinary life to emphasize how important they are in our life. Through the metaphor light and salt, Jesus underlines the important role of being Christian in this world. It is our vocations, it is our call. Our Christian duty is to be the salt of community, preserving, reconciling, adding flavor, and also giving meaning where there is no meaning, and give hope where there is no hope. It is very obvious to be the salt and the light of the world. Jesus also emphasizes that we need to reflect on the light of being Christians and radiate it in the form of love, kindness, mercy, and also forgiveness and humble service. And although light and salt are very simple things in ordinary life, but we need to know the reason why Jesus spontaneously took those metaphors to explain this message to his disciples. There are several reasons that we need to know. And first of all, at the time of Jesus, salt was connected in people's mind with the three special qualities. The first quality is salt was connected with purity because it was white, and also it came from the purest of all things at the time, by the way. We are not talking about right now. So the heat of the sun and also the sea water. And also we have to remember that salt is produced by the act of the sun and also the sea water. In the Old Testament, for instance, Old Testament traditions, salt was the most primitive of all offerings in the temples. That's why at the time of Jesus, many sacrifices were offered with salt. And even in the liturgy, we still use salt to sanctify or to bless holy water. In some cases, a priest would not use it, but according to the liturgy, we still use salt because salt is the purest things, according to in the old tradition of Old Testament. And the second quality that we need to know is Salt is the common element to preserve food. So remember, years ago, people did not have fridges and freezers. So now we are in the new school, we have a different way how to preserve food. Salt was used to prevent the decomposition of meat, fish, and also other things that we need in our daily life. That's what we understand why salt is so very important. And the last one is that the salt gives flavor to the food. Just I have mentioned earlier, one of the main functions of salt is to season the food and to give it flavor in our daily life. So Jesus took this example, salt, in our daily life because it was very common. In the Old Testament until today, we still use salt in our daily life. Now, in the context of the gospel, at least now we know why Jesus took salt as a metaphor in his teaching. On the other hand, we need to know also why Jesus gave the disciple a metaphor about the light. And first of all, light is like a tool that guides everyone to make a way visible in the darkness. Another reason is that a light could be a warning sign which tells everyone to stop when there is danger. And finally, a light exposes everything when it's dark. So those are the reasons why Jesus took salt and the light as a metaphor in his teaching, because he wanted to give the disciple comprehensions how important they are in their daily life. And we have to understand also at the time that many the disciples of Jesus, they were not educated well. So that's why Jesus took very simple metaphors in his life, in his teaching, so that people could understand it easily. So as salt and the light of the world, they must be an example of purity, exercising absolute purity in speech, in conduct, and even in thought. Jesus also encouraged them that they must have a certain influence in their life and in the community so that they could be an example and make easier for others to be good. This is the meaning of being the salt and the light of the world, that they should be visible in daily life. Because being disciples of Jesus means that their whole being has been profoundly seasoned and enlightened with the new life which comes from Christ himself. Christ gave a season to everyone, and he is the light of the world. So it does make sense that Jesus himself took salt and the light to give them example, to make them understand. So now for our reflections, as we learn the meaning of being salt and the light of the world, we need to reflect also on the core message of Jesus, because he invites us also to be salt of the world, just like his disciple into this gospel. If we take the message of what Jesus said to his disciple and put them into practice in our daily life, to be in the salt on the world means that we are there to step forward to care about others when they are in unfortunate situations. But unfortunately, sometimes in our daily life, we don't really care. To be the salt of the world also means that we have to preserve the cultural values and also the moral principles that Jesus has given us. And by doing so, we make contributions to the development of cultural and social life. Then finally, we will be adding flavor to the common life. It is our call. We are reminded through our baptism that each one of us, we have received the light of Christ. And through our baptism also, we have been seasoned by Christ himself. So let us remember also that through baptism, actually, we have invited to be the salt and the light of the world. It is our role as Christians that we need to receive the light of Christ and radiate it to people around us in the form of love, kindness, and mercy, as well as forgiveness and humility. With a bit of Christ's light, we become a veritable lighthouse, illuminating the way for others and removing by the darkness caused by the hatred and jealousy. We will learn from Jesus. We radiate Christ, the light of the world, by our kindness and respect for others with different ethnic backgrounds and different lifestyles. So today we are here, we learn that to be the salt and the light of the world is our call to be Christians. Being Christians means we put into practice what we have learned from Christ. May God bless you all.